Hi viewers, I'm Andy Hanasek, Editor-in-Chief of the National Provisioner, and I'm here once again at Process Expo 2015 at McCormick Place in beautiful Chicago, Illinois. And I have the privilege this time of sitting down with Gerald Lessard of West Liberty Foods, and we're going to talk a little bit about plants and fitting lines into existing space, things like that. Gerald, thanks so much for joining me today.
Very much appreciate the opportunity, Andy. It's always a pleasure.
Yeah, and I enjoy our talks all the time too, so thanks, I appreciate it. So let's get into it really quickly, really easily. Let's talk about the repurposing of space within an existing plant. You know, a lot of companies want to expand their plants,
Right.
but maybe not as much as building an entire addition or a greenfield construction. What trend is kind of driving the repurposing of equipment and lines within the walls of an existing facility from your experience?
Yeah. Well, the recent trend towards antibiotic-free or ABF meats and all natural products has caused the consumer to want a smaller package. So instead of producing a pound worth of sliced meat, now it's down to 7 ounces or 6 ounces to match the price point. So consequently, at the end of the day, you're not producing as many pounds off that same line that you once did just because the packages are smaller. And that trend continues into the fabrication side of the business. These all natural items with a lot of the ingredients being removed from them require longer fabrication times. So in the end, you're not producing as many pounds that you once did because of the transition to ABF and all natural items.
Interesting. Okay. What other trends are driving the repurposing of equipment? You know, whether it be something operationally or food safety, worker safety, things like that.
Yeah.
Is there anything that's causing sea changes within the walls of existing plants?
Yeah. Well, it's probably the economics. When you look at a new square footage or new construction space, you're talking about $300 a square foot. Okay. So then if you built new, then you'd have to add on to your leadership team. So you're instilling a whole new group of managers into your business versus asking yourself the question, can I repurpose the space, utilize existing team members to lead that new area, and at the same time, can I enhance that area to obtain the current food safety? Do I have worker safety in mind as I lay out these new areas? All those questions can be asked and answered, hopefully, by repurposing space versus constructing new. Now, at the end of the day, sometimes you have to get very creative, and you have to use vertical space.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. You know, many of our processing plants have ceiling heights of 20, 24 foot. Okay. Essentially, if everything is happening on the floor, you're missing a lot of potential production space. And you know, an example would be if your maintenance parts storage was on the main floor of your facility, can you move that to a mezzanine and repurpose that space for less dollars than adding on to the building?
In that instance, would you do something like a walk-on ceiling and make it a separate space?
Exactly.
Yeah,
it would be a separate space away from the production area, you know, that type of thing. So not necessarily a walk-on ceiling, but probably a concrete floor.
Okay.
External stairs from production space and that type of thing. So,
okay, excellent. So West Liberty has had a lot of experience in both sides of the equation, whether you guys have built new ground up plants and ground up expansions. You've retrofit and repurposed space in some of your older plants and some of the plants you've acquired over the time. What is easier? And it seems like a very simple question to ask, or at the very least, what is your preference, having gone through some of these things, whether it be new construction or repurposing of lines and equipment?
Sure. Well, when we built the Tree Mountain facility 8 years ago, the initial design allowed us to expand that facility. And we've had 4 major expansions with about 70,000 square feet on those 4 expansions. And we were able to maintain the original team member traffic flow patterns as well as material flows. The building really doesn't look like it's been added on to because we were able to design the expansion into the initial layout. So that's the positive of new construction. When you repurpose space, it really brings out the creativity of the team. Okay? Can you check all the boxes on the wish list, providing a good working environment as well as the outcome that you're looking for? Sometimes you got to reach out to the vendors and suppliers. They have a lot of ideas. In the end, you may need to automate some things that you didn't think of to truly make it work. From my perspective, I kind of lean towards new construction, though. You can plan for the future, which is unknown when you're doing it.
Yeah.
But in the end, it all works out. So new construction would be my preference.
Great. Well, and you get that fancy new plant too.
That's right. And then you come see us then.
Exactly, exactly. Well, thanks. I appreciate the time, Gerald. Have a great rest of the show, and obviously keep us in the loop.
Absolutely, Andy. Thank you.